Life on Hold, Reflections in the Hourglass by Janelle Dill, Nathaniel Fitzgerald, Jacob Goins, Kevina Hall, Janelle Maree, Michael Rosado, and Kat Slagle. Cover art by Jay Costlow. Photography by Jay Costlow, Janelle Dill, and Janelle Maree. Circle C 2020, No Shrinking Violet. All rights reserved. Hope. Dancing in the dark. When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. Andra Day, rise up. Read by Janelle Dill. Mountaintops. Exhilarating, amazing, awesome, incredible. These are the first words that come to my mind. I have never climbed a mountain, but I have had some mountaintop experiences. One of these was on a road my family and I traveled, affectionately named Ticklebelly Road. We used to ride it home from church when my older siblings and I were young. At its apex, you could look down and see the scenery perfectly. My dad would joke when we reached the top, "Oh no, we're gonna fall off the edge of the world." He made a fake panicked face, his jaw stretched out like silly putty. His eyes would pop out and he would let go of the wheel for 5 seconds as the Silver Fox, the Suburban, began its descent down the steep hill. We would scream as the descent swerved, sharply decelerating our vehicle. We would turn, bumping past the junkyard, racing for the S-curve and heading out toward the intersection. The car would slow and our bodies would relax as we entered the home stretch of road. The road showcased cornfields, dull, flat, boring cornfields. Not exciting to 3 creative, active young children. Why did we have to use this road anyway? My dad never chose another path. He always went for the long and winding road, full of crazy dips, turns, in that stretch of cornfield. He told me later that he chose this road because it was the shortest route home. Mountaintop experiences are great when you have them. You are calm, cool, collected, and able to concentrate. It seems that life is on track. However, life does not offer us a steady diet of mountaintop experiences. Instead, we get the valleys where we fall off the edge of the world. The mountaintop turns into a cliff, and we look down shouting, "Hey, I wasn't ready for this!" The valley is hard. It is hazardous. It gets boring, and it can turn into a desert. How much do you learn on the mountaintop compared to the valley? Be honest. After attending a conference or other educational enriching experience, can you recall what you have learned? I bet you can't say what or if you learned anything. Mountaintops are for inspiration, for reflection, for refreshment. They're meant to prepare us for the struggles. We cannot stay on the mountaintops. Too often, we want a catch, a pitch, a reason to go out and do something. To be heroic like Superman or Wonder Woman. The truth is, we don't have to act heroically to be heroic. It is selfish to want attention of that sort. Besides, we will only get humbled at some point. In his book, My Utmost for Its Highest, Oswald Chambers says, "The height of the mountaintop is measured by the drab drudgery of the valley, but it is in the valley that we have to live for the glory of God. We see his glory on the mount, but we never live for his glory there. It is in the sphere of humiliation that we find our true worth to God. That is where our faithfulness is revealed. Most of us can do things if we are always at the heroic pitch because of the natural selfishness of our hearts, but God wants us at the drab commonplace pitch, where we live in the valley according to our personal relationship to him. When we try to stay on the mountaintop, we get knocked off at some point. We get knocked off by circumstances, ourselves, or someone else does the honor of knocking us down. We must return to the valley. Have you ever played the game Perfection? The object is to get everything in just the right place before the time pops and upends the board. I hated that game, especially the timer. I never enjoyed it when it went off. I never beat the timer or got all the pieces in the correct places. I am not that good at life. But it was a wake-up call to imperfection. I have to live in the valleys. I have to be in the worst situations some days, whether it is working in fast food or a substitute teaching job that is difficult, maybe going off high-powered medications or being unemployed. I have to go through these places to grow up. I have to learn new things. I have many limes to salt and suck the life out of. They're not fun, but I am glad to go through these trials. Through the years, I have developed wonderful fellowships with true blue friends, grown closer to family, and even more to God. He is getting me into a more intimate fellowship with Him. What is one more thing? Bring it on. Bring on the valleys. Mountaintops? Sure, I enjoy the view and the inspiration they bring, but it is the descent into the valley that makes me joyful. I am glad in spite of the hardships. Through each raindrop, I am stronger. Read by Janelle Dill.